Good morning, everybody. This is Hema from Bari Estates, heading the sales and marketing. A very welcome to you all to this session and hope you all are staying safe. We are here to discuss the do's and don'ts for seniors during this pandemic. Retirement communities are not just with blocks and cement. It's more than that. Yes, it is with the services with utmost care and affection. I take pleasure in introducing two important persons of Bari Group who takes care of this division in our community. Dr. Danny Devasi, General Manager Operations, and Ayurveda doctor who takes care of the entire operations Bari Beautiful Temple, Foothills Kodaikanal, and Mrs. Soumya Ranganath, heading the entire operations of Anandam Retirement Community, Bangalore, very dedicatedly and with lot of passion. Hi, Danny sir, and hi, Soumya.
Hi, Hi,
Hema.
Yeah.
Thanks for the introduction.
Thank you so much. Now, may I please request Dr. Danny to proceed with this presentation. He has a very good presentation now on do's and don'ts of for seniors, what all should be done and what all should not be done in the COVID situation. Danny sir, this is your time now.
Thank you, Hema. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And though it's a very small presentation, so we'll just try to do, because most of the information is already there on the internet. A lot of things have been spoken, but I will share some of my experiences, what we do in our community and what has evolved as a very good system in our community, how we have taken care of them. So there is a small set of presentations, so I'll just share my screen, and I am very sure that it will be of use to a lot of people out there, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm just now going to share my screen. Kindly hold on, just be patient. So this is our health and wellness series, as you can see, and basically we whatever successful things that we have done at our site and the community, I'll be sharing those inputs to you all. So what are the precautions during COVID-19? Precautions, now we are into a very, very tough times as of now. So what are the things that we need to take care further to take care of ourselves? So I'm going to give you a gist of that. So I'll just give you a small introduction about COVID-19 so that we understand it, in a very, very brief perspective. Basically, they are also from the same SARS-CoV-2. Here is the name given because it was SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, and the strain is 2, and it was discovered in 2019. That's the reason it is known as COVID-19. And it is a new strain of coronavirus that has never been found up earlier. So it's a new strain of things, right? See, as of now, animals are supposed to be, they were supposed to be the original source of coronaviruses. Now it has, the human-to-human transmission has started. That's the reason the entire world has been gripped. Now it is known as global pandemic. Spread is basically through the same, droplet infection that can be due to sneezing, coughing, or it can be aerosol. That means if somebody sneezes, in that spurt of human moment, a lot of saliva and other things will be there in the air. And if a person is within the 2 meter or 2.5 meter range, the person can contract those diseases. And it also touch on other things that are there. Besides that, there have also been cases, there are studies that are going on. It is spreading like AIDS also. So whatever are the parameters for AIDS, how it spreads, the various modes. We talk about the sexual contact, you talk about needles, you talk about, it is almost similar. And to add it on, another 3, 4 aspects, that is saliva and sneezing and other, aspects are there. So the incubation period, it says the infection is onset, within 2 to 14 days, and the symptoms, starts appearing in the person. 2 to 14 days. 7 to 14 is the spreading time. The person becomes infected. Infected person starts spreading this infection to others within 7 to 14 days. So On an average, it takes around, if you say the count, one person can infect minimum 2 to 3%. That's the reason our cases are on the rise on a daily basis. And mortality rate, seniors are very much they are very prone to this particular virus. That's the reason, they say that, the chances of survival of somebody who's 70 is around 30%, and somebody who's 80 is around 50-50 chance. So all measures have to be taken by the seniors to take care of themselves, or as a matter of fact, by anybody, even from young children to anybody. But seniors, we are focusing more on seniors now because that is how we have been doing it in our community. So the symptoms, of COVID, though initially there were 6 symptoms that were told. Now, Center for Disease Control in US, they have added another 6 more. So altogether, there are 12 symptoms of COVID today, which is like fever, it could be cough, shortness of breath, that means difficulty in breathing, fatigue, chills could be there, that, the person will be having some rigors and all. There can be muscle pain, headaches, loss of smell and loss of taste can be a symptom, nausea, there could be gastrointestinal discomfort, that means diarrhea could be there, and sore throat, dry, irritating cough. These are the 12, major symptoms that are there, but they are on the lookout for other things also. But this more or less covers the entire flu, parameters and other things. So these are major symptoms. So if you've come across any 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, in fact, you must take medical advice. That is very, very critical. Why seniors at risk? This is very, very important question today. See, any senior with a condition, the predisposing factors, we call it. If the person is diabetic, or the person is having any sort of respiratory problem, just like asthma, chronic obstructive, tuberculosis, has a history of tuberculosis, or any interstitial lung disease. That means anything that is, that can hamper the respiratory mechanism. That means the breathing in, breathing out mechanism, and also the perfusion of the exchange of gases. Whatever is hindering that, the person is definitely at risk. It also people who are having chronic heart disease, they are there. Chronic kidney disease, that is very, very important. Anybody having high creatinine levels in the kidneys and all, they are to be very, very, careful about this thing. Liver diseases, people who have cirrhosis or viral hepatitis, any sort of those things, they are all very, very prone. Any sort of neurological conditions, just like Parkinsonism, stroke, high blood pressure, hypertension, cancer people are on, immunomodulators and other things. People are on multi drugs, they can be definitely affected. People on immunosuppressive medications, people who are having autoimmune disorders, just like rheumatoid arthritis or systemic lupus and other diseases where they give disease-modifying drugs, the immunity will be definitely compromised, and COVID virus or other bacterial infections are on the lurk of such people. So they have much more chances of getting, affected by any sort of diseases, any sort of infections, just like virus or bacteria and all those things. So that is the reason they are always at risk. So a lot of precautions has to be taken. Some facts I'm going to put it across. This is also taken from Center for Disease Control, US, about corona. And they say the probability of infection and the percentage of fatalities. The situation is basically in US kind of a thing, and our condition is also, not far behind. So that is what, if you have 3 ailments plus a corona infection, you have a 48.6% fatality. Any 2 ailment plus corona, it's around 26.5. And 1 ailment plus corona, it is around 23.5. And only corona problem, then the person fatality is like around 1.2%. So the lesser you have comorbidities associated with you, and the better chance of you is to fight corona. That is very, very important. Treatment, no vaccines available as of now, because there were some news yesterday that there are some vaccines available. People are on the clinical trial and other things, and for past 1.5-2 months, a lot of things are going around. But till we get some credible information from the government and also from the other reputed agencies, we cannot compromise. So right now, only we have to trust on our immunity, and only supportive treatments are there if somebody is affected. Nothing to get scared of, because the moment you get scared of corona, it is like you are again increasing your stress level in the body, and definitely the whole immune pathway is getting affected. So that is also very, very critical. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Supportive treatments can definitely help. A lot of people will be asymptomatic. They don't have any symptoms, but they can be corona positive. They can be COVID positive. So that is also very, very important information that you have to keep in mind. Now, how to prevent? We talk about all those things. Prevention is like I have divided it into outside things and the inside things. The thumb rule is that please go out only if it is necessary. Don't loiter around, or don't expose yourself, especially the seniors. They don't expose yourself to the outside, these kind of infections. That is very, very important. Social distancing, yes, that is there. It is better to avoid crowded places. Even visitors and relatives, they can be just asked to. You can go for a online kind of a WhatsApp kind of a thing, or some other thing. But better is not to make them visit your houses too often. It's not like intentionally they will be bringing it corona. Definitely, it can. There is a certain bit of chance. While you are going out, it is always better to wear masks. And also, if you get any sort of nasal irritation, if you feel like sneezing, there are sneeze etiquettes that is very, very critical. You don't sneeze on your hand or on any other place. You can, if you don't have a mask, it is better that you can sneeze on your elbow. You can be sneezing like this, so that at least you are not putting that aerosol, that means small droplets outside, and getting the other person affected. So those are very, very important. And it's always better to wear a full sleeve shirt. This is very, very important. You don't expose your body too much. It's always better to avoid the full sleeves, half sleeves, or your body when you are especially going out. My advice is like you can have a certain set of clothes which you use it for outside. The moment you go visit a market, you come back home and immediately put it on hot sun, and then, or you can put it in detergent and you can wash them immediately by soaking them. Soak it for half an hour and then just take it out, rinse it well, and that can be hung on the in the sun. So these are small things that you can take it out. You keep in mind when you are going out. When you are outside, my advice is that you can wear different slippers, while going out. Don't bring the slippers which are outside, which are used by shopping and all the things. You can keep it outside and come inside. So that's very, very important. You can also keep a small bottle of sanitizer. It can be, it can be kept, and whatever is there, you can just spray, put it in your hand, and just rub it on. Or you can also wear gloves when you're going out. That can also be done. And it's a very simple process. When initial there was a lot of sanitizer scarce in the city, and as a matter of fact, in the country, we had found out our own way. What we did is 500 ml of we took 500 ml of sprayer. We put it off around water, and with 2 caps of Dettol. Just shake it nicely, and you can use it in the hands and all. It was far more better because it will not leave your hands dry, and it is very, very screen friendly. So that can be used. If you are using the currency notes, when you are exchanging cash, that has to be taken very, very with a lot of care. What you can do is you use it in the top pocket and take out. Keep 2 or 3 batches of currency notes. 100 something and tenors at one place, and don't reach out to the other pockets. Only take it from one pocket and just use it and put it in the bag. And once you're back, you can just, if you want, you can just put these notes on the window and all those things. It should not fly away, but you can just expose them to sun so that they also become sterilized. Frank advice about cell phones. It is better not to carry, but if you are carry, please answer the calls in urgent conditions, because you will again put in your hand inside the pocket, taking out the cell phone, speaking on it. You can contract the things, the COVID viruses. And you can also clean your spectacles, walkers, and other things with Dettol soap solution. That is very, very easy. When you are outside, or when you have a tendency to, when you are outside, what you need to do is like avoid touching the T-zone. We call it the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So these are the 3 things that we call it as T-zone. So that T-zone should be completely avoided. That's the reason we say you please wear masks. So it will take care of your these things. Don't touch any, even ears also. Please don't use anybody's else's hearing aid or these what do you call the earphones and other things. They are also live. They can also transmit this particular disease. So that is very, very important. So what are we now, after talking about what you can do outside, now what you can do when you're inside, that is also lifestyle changes you need to make out, we have to frequently wash our hands. Suppose if we have gone to the market and other things, at least, that hand washing should be done for minimum 20 seconds. The soap should be covered. And all the areas, like including the thumb, your fingers, inside, your palm, between the fingers, back of the hands, all these things should be covered, and up to the wrist. It is always good to, when you're cooking especially, you can do it up to the hands, to the elbows. So that is very, very important. And you can also do mild exercises, say, we in Ayurveda, we call it as the exercise, the limit for exercise is different for everybody. So say Ardha Shakti, that means till your half of your capacity you should exercise. How you can do it, like you can see that you start sweating, mild sweating on your nose and the armpits and all. That means your body is warmed up and charged up. So that is the indicator of Ardha Shakti Vyayam. And meditation, you can also do meditations and other things, which will help you to focus and relax. That is very, very important. Stress levels are going high, so you can relax in that way. What you can also do is, like, you can sip warm water. It's always good to sip warm water around, and saline gargles could be done for any sort of throat irritation. When you're especially going out after coming home, you can just take some water and just gargle it, rinse your mouth, and clean your nose, etc. very nicely. So it will take care of the things. Also, you can invest, because now the physical activity going outside is all restricted. So you have to inculcate certain habits, or you can start up with your hobbies, that can be pursued. Besides reading or music and other things, that can help you to relax. Another thing is that, children are the best stress busters, and if you can also keep in touch with your grandkids or your children, and also to friends and relatives, it's better to talk to them and just keep in touch. Technology is available with a lot of good technologies are available, so you can use any of those things. Another thing is that, please don't delve into a lot of watching news or social media. They talk about all the negative things today, and which naturally increases our blood pressure and our stress. So it is better to avoid this watching too much of news, etc. Try to listen to music or do something creative or writing and all those things that can help. And ample sleep, that is very, very important. Ample sleep, the global average, they say, is around 5 hours or 6 hours. But, I say that it is all on an individual basis. Even somebody can sleep for 4 hours and be absolutely fresh after waking up. So it's absolutely up to the person on how much sleep the person wants. And it's all, the indicator is that once you go to sleep, wake up in the morning or something like that, you feel absolutely fresh. So that's the most important factor. And also the more very, very important critical factor is that please continue to take your medications on time. Don't skip out on any medications, and just keep ample supply of medications along with you. Right? What we do here is that all the people, all the seniors, they have been asked to keep a small packet. And suppose if somebody forgets, my medical room, I know I have a small 2 or 3 day dosage of each resident, whatever medicine that they have. So we have around 3 to 4 days of stock of medications, also medicines. Suppose somebody needs on an urgent basis, we can do that. So these are small things that we, that has come handy to us. Another thing is that, dietary changes that one needs to do. Drink plenty of lukewarm water, and hot water or lukewarm water has been found to be very effective in dealing with most of the indigestion and other things. Because another problem with seniors is that they forget to drink water, even if they are sitting inside. Dehydration in elderly is very, very common. Another thing is that you can also wash the veggies and fruits in vinegar and water or vinegar or salt solution. So it will help. Turmeric can also be put in the wash, so that it can be a very good disinfectant. Veggies should be cooked well before eating, so it will help you to take care of this thing, the problems and all. So there you can disinfect your vegetables. Another thing is that you please eat your food timely. Don't delay on things. It's always better to fix your timing of food and then have. Immunity boosting or whatever is there, or immunity, how to improve on the immunity, you can take a solution of this tulsi, ginger, pepper, and jaggery honey. So this is a very, very simple concoction or decoction that I usually give it to people. And even if we have some small mild fever and all those things, or any indigestion or any small cold and other things. So this can be, or even a sore throat, this can be a beautiful remedy. Simple technique is that you can take one and a half cup of water, 2 to 3 tulsi leaves, and 1 small piece of cinnamon, ginger 1 small piece, and pepper 2 to 3 peppercorns, jaggery or honey depending upon the taste. You please add up the jaggery at the last. So boil everything, reduce it to say 1 cup, and then add jaggery or honey, when it is like that. So you can just have it, and it will definitely, you can sip it 2, 3 or 4 times in a day. It doesn't make a difference. It will definitely help you in the indigestion and other things. So, sorry, just a moment. So my humble request is that yes, COVID-19 is preventable. We need to watch out and very, very vigilant, because it is very important, because the situation is going from bad to worse, and the situation has gone to such an alarming level, even the governments and nobody can contain it. So we have to take care of ourselves, and the government has their limited roles now. It is everybody for themselves, so that is what is more important. Please try to keep safe, and things will be just doing fine. And if you need, thank you for your attention, and if you have any queries pertaining to my presentation on anything that you want to share, or you can to ask, please feel free to ask, and we are all there to help. My number and my email ID is already there on your screens. So if you have any sort of queries, you can also get back to Hema or Soumya in whichever mode that you want. Any help that you want from our side, we are all there to help you out. With this, I pass it on to Hema. Thank you so much, and Hema, now you can take care. I think Hema, just one moment. I'll just end my presentation. Just one moment, Hema. Just one moment. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable presentation. Very nice presentation and very useful for this time, actually. Now we have received many questions in the chat box. I shall go through them one by one. Let me tell you whom should answer for this question, either you or Ms. Soumya. Okay. The first question is, even though we have run out in our presentation, maybe some would have missed and posted the same questions, I do believe. One client has asked, what is the symptoms of COVID-19?
Okay. Symptoms of COVID-19, as I've told you, there are, if it is dry, irritating, cough. It can be, loss of smell, loss of taste, fever. You have body ache, headache, muscle spasm, chills, and there are 12 symptoms, that has been told. Even diarrhea, that is also there. So it can be 1 or 2 symptoms, or it can be 3 or 4 symptoms, depending upon how the person is faring up during that particular infectious time. That makes a difference. So these things are now, even a small fever comes, please don't run to a doctor immediately. You please take care that getting into hospital is now you are again making yourself prone to COVID. So initially you can just consult your doctor, and if you feel any of those symptoms that are there, fever with sore throat, difficulty in breathing, that is very, very important. Then you have fever, chills, muscle spasm, back, any sort of aches, body aches, and all those things, and loss of smell, loss of taste, and diarrhea, headaches. These are broadly around 12 symptoms. So any of the symptoms that you have, please consult your physician. Don't take self-medication, please don't do that, because there is a tendency that you might miss out on the infection. So take a proper medical advice and deal with the situation. I think that suffices. So Hema.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. The next question is I've seen your corporate video. You're operating a retirement community. How are you handling things there, and how do the seniors residing in the community overcome this pandemic? Soumya, I think you can answer this question.
Yes, Hema, thank you for this.
Yeah.
We are running a retirement community. Let me introduce. Yeah, corporate videos available on YouTube, and we have even in our last session of FB, we are showing you our corporate video. So we have basically two communities. One is at the foothills of Kodaikanal, and one more is at Bangalore, near to International Airport. So both the communities are active communities. People are living over there. So this period of Corona was a challenging period for us. Initially, we felt how to face it. But then the team, in-house team was very helpful. We have trained the people. We have at the background Dr. Danny, who himself is an Ayurvedic doctor. Lot of learning has come from him, his side. And with this, what happened, both the communities, our team, in-house team and the team who's involved in the service, they were being very well trained. Not only trained, they've been made aware of the situation, like what is Corona or COVID, and what and all the precautions they are supposed to take. And with this awareness and training, both the team at both the locations are self-sufficient. They know what to be done. For example, during the lockdown, we had maximum people inside the community. We have provided them accommodation, food, everything. So they were risk-free. And few people were coming from a very nearby village, which is around 200 meters away. So when this team is coming in, see, we can't stop with the housekeeping or other services for the people around in the senior grade. This is the major problem people outside facing today, correct? Like, I have stopped my maid, what to do, all these questions. So we cannot stop the service for them, or we cannot reduce the comfort zone. That is when our importance comes. So what we have done is we have asked these people, our service team, to get inside the community. There, of course, the temperature, vitals, and the sanitization was happening. And once they get in, we have allotted a villa for them, wherein they go, they get themselves, head bath is compulsory every day. They wash the cloth which they are wearing, and they wear a new set of cloth, which is already sanitized cloths or washed cloths. And then wearing a mask or gloves, they go to a service. And once they're done with one villa service, the next villa service will happen. Again, they go for a hand sanitization, and the gloves are changed. And these masks which we have provided them are a washable mask. They wash it and wear it. So small care, even when they're doing, I mean, now we have started with sanitization of the villas also. So with this, all this, what happens? The elders are given a comfort zone, and the kitchen team, we have an in-house kitchen team. So we are giving them a contactless, we're trying for a contactless services for them. And the people are asked to move in batches. The residents are asked to move in batches for the centralized dining area. So many precautions. The basic is training and the awareness what we provide to our team is very important. And luckily, we have a very good service team who believe in our slogan like service with smile. And every situation is handled with a smile. And we are very successful in both the communities to handle this pandemic period, the lockdown period, and post-lockdown also, when people are now very comfortable, confident on our team. So it's a kind of very well managed thing. So that's it.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful explanation you have given.
Thank you.
And no, service with smile. This is always a specialty in our community.
Yeah.
I know that very well. Okay. The next question is an interesting question from a old couple, actually. They are in 70s, and being alone gives them a fear and sort of depression. How to overcome this situation, because they have stopped their servant maids, cook, everybody due to this pandemic situation. Danny sir, I think I will take your help for this question.
That's more or less situation faced by everybody today. Not only the seniors, but also at every household. I am also facing the same thing at my house there, also in Madurai. But nonetheless, how at the moment what they can do is how to overcome depression is to channelize or focus their mind. That is very, very important. As I told in my presentation itself, please don't get into all the negative news. A lot of other things that keeps on happening. Don't see all those things. Just keep yourself updated with the latest what is happening. But that should not be, because depression creeps in slowly and steadily. If you restrict some person's movement, within the house, that itself is depressing. That stress starts immediately. If you ask somebody to just sit at one place, and observe things. So in that sitting in the house itself, they can do some activity which can keep them engaged. They can do crosswords, they can do some other things. We try out to do it in our community, some other activity which keeps them, engaged throughout the period. They can get into music. There some of the seniors here, they are on various other apps, they're star makers and all those things. I am also there, utilizing my time like that. So people are there who are trying to get into some valuable, things. As far as maids and all those things are concerned, yes, that is very, very tough today. Because maids are all coming from outside. Luckily we have all the things in house, but people who are coming from outside, they are more prone. And the tips that I told how to take care, when they are inside and outside, on the maid, that will help them to take care. Like Soumya told, like they can when they are coming in, they can be sanitized properly. They can take a bath. They can when they are doing things inside the household, they can wear masks and gloves. Hand washing is very, very critical, and wash the vegetables and all those things. So those are the simple precautions that a person can take. Getting into depression is something, they have to pursue some sort of passion now, writing or reading or something like that. That is what this time is. Or even talking to the neighbor can be done online. They can have a video chat. So these are the things that at the moment we can do. And the best thing is that to cooperate with the authorities, because they are under tremendous pressure. So that is the thing that I want to say it from my desk. And if Soumya can want to add something, you can also give your views on that.
No, so I mean, just the same. I mean, I do have parents at my house who are above 70, 65. I mean, it's a usual problem when we come out. How do they maintain themselves if they want a vegetable, all those things? Seriously, today, nuclear families are affecting us. I mean, when parents are away, kids, I mean, it is nothing intentional, but the kids are also not able to serve their parents, and parents are finding it very difficult. So retirement community on a long run is the answer for all these things. I'm not talking about our retirement community. In general, retirement community is an answer, wherein the parents, the people who are at the elderly segment are safely placed. In our community, see, they have never seen this. Today, they can't go for walking. Our people around, they go for walking. They have a full open space. So they enjoy that. Yeah, with the social distancing. And mask wearing inside a community is not at all necessary for us, because we are restricted at gate movement. See, at this age, wearing a mask and going for a walking, do you think it's practically possible? It's impossible. They feel that suffocation. So our community, this is the small happiness what they get. And today also they are corona free. Our residents, just remembering, one of the residents called Anandam and Bahari Beautiful Country as an island of safety. They're telling, don't allow people, it's an island of safety. This is the confidence. They're leading a normal life today. That is our achievement.
Absolutely.
That's the solution, retirement community.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very good answer you have given, Soumya. Actually, finding safe place and leading normal life at this pandemic is very important. Actually,
not only for elders, even for the kids who are away, this will give them a confidence and a kind of relaxation. They can lead their normal life.
Sure. Now I'll move to the next question. The next question is does e-commerce work in your communities, in your Bangalore site or in Korea site? Does e-commerce work? I think Soumya, you can answer this question.
See, both the communities, when we have chosen a location to set up a community, we wanted to give an isolation. We wanted it to be set up in an isolation place. It is not that we predicted Corona that time. No, the communities are like our Kodaikanal, which is our flagship project, started a decade. It is a very long project. Which is running. So that time we never knew about this. But what we wanted to give them is a pollution-free ambience, and there should not be a noise pollution. See, people cannot take at this age lot of vehicle moving, people talking, noise. So we wanted this community to be in an isolated place. So that is giving us an advantage today. And one disadvantage what we faced was the e-commerce. E-commerce was not able to reach our places. Yes, we had initially this problem. Today, both the communities are popular by its name, and the location has gained its goodwill because of our community. So e-commerce are available in both of our communities, like it may be Amazon, Flipkart, 1mg, and whichever you name it, it comes to our community. In Kodaikanal, I think we are completely full-fledged and it is coming to the gate and the precautions are taken. You agree, Danny, sir?
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yeah. We receive around half a van of Amazon parcels on a daily basis.
Yes. So here also, so that is our Kodai. And sir, what is the precaution we are taking there, sir, at gate?
Precautions in the sense, the person who is coming, anyways, he's sanitized and now because more of food items are coming, so we don't want to delay this thing. But initially, when the person comes, the spraying is done at the gate itself. And when he comes here also, he will usually leave if some of the residents are not available. He leaves the parcel there at my office, and we just keep it there, and we deliver it in the evening, whenever the resident comes. And the other things, if any sort of cardboard or any sort of place, the surface, if the virus is active for around say 6 to 8 hours or max to max 24 hours, it is safe not to touch any cardboard and other things. Leave it outside for 24 hours so that this is taken care of. But we spray it on. We have this Dettol and other sanitizer which is sprayed on the cardboards when it arrives to our sites. Should not be a problem, I think.
Yes. So this at Kodai, the same is followed at Bangalore. And Bangalore, one more arrangement is our corporate office is at a nearby distance. Like in Bangalore, we have at Laval Road. So every day, one other person travels from Bangalore to our community. So if they're finding it difficult, any of the sites are not able to come there, the parcel comes to our Bangalore office, and from there we take it and give it to them. Same sanitization, same 24 hours, everything is managed over here. So e-commerce is not an issue at all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Danny sir and Soumya, for this. And the next question is, are your service team trained well to handle these situations? How frequently they are trained?
So shall I answer for this?
Yeah.
Okay. See, as it is a continuation of my last, whatever I had told, all our service team not only trained, they have given an awareness, which is very, very important. Training is different, awareness is different. So they know how to handle a situation. I have given an explanation about our housekeeping, where they are well equipped with the sanitization process. They know about wearing a mask, washing a mask, all those things. Now coming to kitchen team. Like even kitchen team has got certain purchases, like veggies we take, fruits we take, provision comes. So provisions all packed and kept in a separate storeroom where we don't touch that for 24 hours, so that the packs are removed and then it has been put into the containers. And veggies and fruits are dipped in a salt water with little of turmeric, with as Danny sir said. And after that, we take it inside. So this is one thing. Second thing is contactless services. When we are serving also, the tables are placed at a distance. So it is not nearby to each other. Instead of 4 people in a table, we have made it as 2 people in a table, on a table. So they sit, and regular sanitization is after each batch goes up. That has been taken care. So complete team is trained on that. Even our gardening team, they know what it is. And we do regular spray around this one. The roads are wider, and a lot of movements are restricted from outside. We don't allow much people inside the gate. That is the plus point with us. So the team is the security team, say Laker, kitchen team, gardening team, our housekeeping team, everyone are very well trained. And we have a paramedical center at both the community, which is 24/7 operational. And we have a paramedical staff who's stationed inside. So what happens? Every day vital checking, temperature checking of our seniors is happening. Whosoever has to enter the community has to undergo our paramedical staff strict screening. So all these things have given a lot of value addition. And as I told you, we have been successful giving them a normal life, which is as equal to a pre-corona.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Soumya. The next question is, my wife is into Parkinson first stage, and hence with no other go, we are allowing our maids to come, cook, servant maids to come. What precautions should we take before letting them in? Danny sir, I think you should answer this question.
Yeah. Parkinsonism is, many of the elderlies are facing this problem, Parkinsonism. Parkinson's, there will be difficulty in movement. There will be tremors and other things. So it is very difficult for them to cook and all those things for themselves. My advice to them is the precaution that we have told in this particular thing. When my maid enters and the maid cooks and all those things, that is very, very critical. The second thing is that the person has to take the medications on time, like Sindopa or whatever the medication the person is on. You please be very regular to the medications. Third aspect is like what we have. We also have certain, people with Parkinsonism, other things in our community also. There is something which we are also giving is like assisted living services. Because if a husband and wife, if a couple are there, it will be very difficult for them to now. There are no maids available. It will be difficult for them for the movement and all those things. It is good to have somebody a help at hand, who will take care of most of the things and try to keep the infections, etc., within the, whatever is there, infections outside and, some safety inside the house. So it is better to take some help in that particular manner. I don't know how feasible it would be for a person to have, assisted living or some services there at house. But yes, we can do it here. It's absolutely not an issue. And precautions, whatever has been told for the maids, like the safety and hygiene and all those things, it is all important, and you follow those things. Whatever vegetables that is brought inside and cooked and all those things, that is to be taken care of. If you keep these simple things, I think they will be in a better position to ward off corona as COVID for a longer time, till we all develop the herd immunity, we call it. That is the thing right now. This is, I think, I could put it from my side, from on this aspect.
And one thing to add up, Hema, see, we do have a rental units available at both the communities, like Kodaikanal and Bangalore. If someone is thinking of facing the situation or in an effective manner, they can contact us on our website, or your number, my number, Danny's number, everyone's number is available. They can contact, they can offer our trial villas or the rental villas on a long term, like 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. So they can come there, shift the person, take an assisted living from us. That can also be a solution. See, the problem is how to allow the maid. Yes, allowing a maid from outside is difficult, but in our community, we can give the services to them. I mean, with all precautions, whatever we have explained. And assisted living is also there. A person like Danny sir there, paramedical center there. We are professional in handling things. So the professionalism can. Here, the problem is not the person who's facing it, the person viewer who was asked, not in the wife, even husband is facing a major problem, like how to handle the situation, correct? So one way the virus is spreading, one way how to handle. So this rental villas can be one more answer from our side. So they can shift here for timely being. If they are liking, then they can become a member of our family. But time being, they can also offer it as a small suggestion. People can think over.
Very rightly said. Very rightly said. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The next question is like, what profile of residents are staying in your communities? Soumya, I think you can answer this.
Yes, Hema. See, both the communities, it is not a community dominated, this one, like we don't have one kind of people living there. It is a cosmopolitan, what I can call it as. People from everywhere, like Kashmir to Kanyakumari, that every per state, we have one other person living there. So very cosmopolitan crowd, and people are very educated and from a professional background. We have CEOs of a company, we have directors of a company, we have teachers, we have professors, we have bank managers.
Doctors.
So we have, yes sir?
We have doctors too.
Yeah, we have doctors too. Yes, very, very good addition. Yeah, that is one more confidence what we have. So all these people are there. So, and when you see the life over there, and we have, we celebrate everything here. We celebrate Hindu, Muslim, Christian festival. It's a community gathering for us. So this kind of profiles of people, like-minded people will make your life very easy. Correct? So there is nothing. I mean, above 60, above 50, actually we realize what life is, whatever we led till today. This is dividing is something. Yeah, the unity will give them a lot of confidence and happiness. You should see them when they're sitting at central dining area. You'll never feel they're from different family. They discuss such a healthy things happening of today, and they become so tech savvy. Staying here, one will teach other what is the application. So that kind of profile, and they enjoy every day. And we do a lot of events, wellness, not only health as Danny said, I mean, he's at the background, but wellness is also done very well with us. So we have a lot of activities added up to them. We are having certain activity like birthday celebration, anniversary celebration, Ganesha, Christmas.
Diwali, Christmas, everything, you name it and we have it.
Everything. Even Rakhi is celebrated. Raksha Bandhan is celebrated. So everything at Elders Day celebrated. So they are enjoying their life. Seeing them, we are enjoying.
Very nice actually to hear this. I'll move on to next question now. What are the measures taken to keep up the hygiene in this pandemic? It's a general question. They're asking how to maintain hygiene in this pandemic. Danny sir, I think you should answer this.
Yeah, hygiene in the sense, there are 2-3 aspects. First is when you, as I mentioned in the presentation itself, that, as you are moving out, outside, what are the hygiene that you need to take care? It's basically frequent hand wash and keeping your hydration, good nutrition, and of course, whatever the clothes and all those things has to be washed properly. And, a simple sanitizer that we did, was basically with a Dettol solution, 2 caps of Dettol, and put it in half a liter of water in a spray can, and you can spray it on every place, and you can spray it on the hands and all those things. Just these are the small trips that you need to do. Yes, every day what you need to do is is a self hygiene. That means you have to wash your throats and all those things. Take care of your nose, wash your eyes properly. Don't touch your eyes immediately. First, wash your hands, and then you splash water, and then wash your eyes and nose and all those things. Otherwise, you will again take the infection inside. First, wash your hands, then you start washing your face, and otherwise, that is the general way. And other medications on time, and you see, sunlight is a very, very good sanitizer. Unfortunately, we have this big campus, of 121 acres. We have ample amount of sunshine here. So sunlight reaches to all the nooks and corners. So even if you sun dry your clothes, sun dry other things, put the vegetables also after washing, just show it to the sun. So the ultraviolet rays will definitely take care of all those things. So these are small measures that one can take, and there is no hard and fast rule. No sanitary. Even infections are there in operation theaters, which is fumigated. So it is. We cannot say we don't have to run from infections, because we have to trust on our system, our immunity, and we have to keep it on upgrading our immunity. It is not like there is a thumb rule for everything. It's never like that. It's only how we have to listen to our system, our body, improve, interact with the environment well, keep the stress level low, maintain simple hygiene, water, food. These are the basic things that our body wants. Our body doesn't want, you have to eat very exotic fruits or very exotic vegetables, nothing of that sort. Body has its own buffer. We have to trust our system, our immunity, our senses. That is more than sufficient. So rest of the things, the external hygiene, that is more important. And most important is the mental hygiene, So that is very, very critical. So don't delve into small things which are all negative. See a lot of negative things all around. So don't let those things get into your head. So it's like you can be a Gandhi ji ka bandar, don't see anything bad, don't hear anything, don't say anything bad to others. So that is very, very interesting. So follow those simple principles and nothing else to worry. This will also pass away, and that is my full confidence and full hope. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is, what all safety measures are you ensuring amid this pandemic?
Danny, it's all repeated questions.
Yeah, more or less like a repeated question.
I'll tell you at the gate itself, we start with the sanitization, checking of the temperature and other things.
Yes,
when any person who's most of the staff who are my service staff, what we are doing is like they are in-house, they are not coming from outside. So they are contained so that, we contain the infection and other things. And there is very limited movement of my staff going for purchases and all those things. We have restricted our seniors also to go out. So whatever their requirements are, medicines or vegetables or whatever, fruits and other groceries and all those things, biscuits and other things, whatever they want, we procure it and we give it to them. So it is in a way, we are trying to, ward off this, or we are just buying time till this corona actually dies away its natural death, or it continues. So in that way, we're trying to contain. And from the security gate inside, and also my staff and our staff are all given frequent checks, daily temperature checks and all. Even I myself, even if I am entering, they do a temperature check for me also. It is mandatory whether anybody who comes in, any temperature going around 37.5, 37.5, something like that. I said, you please tell us, and immediately our, I have to be notified at this particular place, and similarly Soumya and in Bangalore. And secondly is the paramedic, we don't make any person enter at a higher temperature, that is very, very critical. So, and plus other things, when the person is coming in, they have to wear masks, PPEs and all those things, and washing hands, washing themselves before coming for work, and going after, they can also wear clean clothes, and social distancing, it's not, they should not be going around in clusters. So all those things we are maintaining. I think this will take care of the things right now that is happening with us for almost 60, 65, 70 days. We are managing in that particular manner, and it will continue. It was a new learning for all of us, and we have delved into that now. We have taken those strong points. So it will continue now. That is what I can say.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Soumya, I think this question will go to you now. Could you please give us the details on the villa cost? What are the monthly expenses for a couple over there in the community? Finally, do you have any special concession or offer due to this pandemic?
Okay. When we are talking about villa, first let me tell you how is the villa situated. Like Danny sir was talking about social distancing. Our villas are distanced from each other. It is not a villa which is attached. So each villa is in an isolation state. Like we have a lot of surrounding free space given. We have around 30% only as a constructed area and 70% as a free area. So basically, as elders, what they need a fresh air, they need sunlight around, as Danny said, very well said. I mean, vegetable and cloth, just keep it in the veranda and take it out is enough for us, because adequate sunlight, the fresh air, and the greenery around itself is a medicine for many of the diseases. Like prevention is better than cure is what we are supposed to go with this. Like whatever sir told, it's prevention. There is no cure for corona, but the prevention is there, so prevent it. So the villas are designed like that only, and that's basically what our elders require. And when we are coming for the cost, let me take up Kodaikanal in the beginning. Kodaikanal is spread around 121 acres, the first phase, and we have a second phase which is there. So it's a township by itself, and we have two communities and two projects in our Kodaikanal. Overall, it is called as Bahari Beautiful Country, and one is Anandam Retirement Community, which is an independent villas. What we are, I mean, you can see in our corporate, it's an independent villa with a lot of space around and other things. So these villas, we have variants like 1 BHK, 2 BHK, and 3 BHK. We call it as ARC, Anandam Retirement Community. And the cost of a 1 BHK is around 35 lakhs. Okay, for the 1 BHK, 2 BHK is around 45 lakhs, 3 BHK is around 65 lakhs. So on this is our basic cost of the villa. Depends upon area, built up area and the land area, variation of the prices are there. And coming back to Bangalore, I mean, we have one more project at Kodaikanal that is called the Santosham Retirement Community, which is a cluster housing project. This project, we have come out with this module only on the request of our elders. Many of the elders, when we met them, they came out and told us like, independent villas have got its own beauty and advantage and other things, but we wanted to have that cozy environment. We wanted a cluster wherein our maintenance and other things also, I mean, affordable kind of concept. So for affordable kind of a concept, we have come out with Santosham Retirement Community, wherein our villa starts with 1 BHK and 2 BHK, starts with around 19.5 lakh for a 1 BHK, 27.5 lakh for a 2 BHK. But please remember, even in this, we have a garden, and all other our services are same for Anandam, same for Santosham. There is no differentiation made between the residents. And in Anandam, we have, I mean, in Bahari Beautiful Country, we have a Bahari Mountain View Clubhouse, which is spread across 40,000 square feet, where we have ample of facilities for our elders. Like we have a gym, which is geriatric gym. We have a centralized kitchen where we have veg and non-veg preparations done in a different kitchen, served in a different dining area. And we have a community gathering. We have a swimming pool. We have a lot of space for yoga practice. We have a theater. So every facility is there. And a special thing, our community is we are having a paramedical center plus an Ayurveda center also. wherein small massages, treatments, again a prevention. Ayurveda is more about preventing our diseases. So lot of things will not go inside the body, and the elders cannot afford to take a lot of medicine. So Ayurveda is an answer, and Danny sir is a big support for us on Ayurveda. And so this is about Kodaikanal. And 1 BHK is almost around 800 square feet of a built-up area. 2 BHK around 1,000 plus, or 3 BHK is 1,400, 500 plus built-up area. So this is about Kodaikanal. Coming to Bangalore project. Bangalore project is a miniature of our Kodai project. It is not as big as Kodai. It's a miniature, 12.5 acres spread, and every facility is the same. The team behind the concept is also same. So we have the same 1 BHK, 2 BHK, and 3 BHK variants. And 1 BHK is spread in 602 square feet of a built-up area and 1,200 land area. 2 BHK between 1,500 to 2,600 square feet of a land area with 759 square feet, say like 1,079 square feet of built-up area. 3 BHK 1,511 square feet of a built-up area. And here we have only independent villas in Bangalore, and the cost for 1 BHK is around 27 lakhs for a 1 BHK basic cost, and 2 BHK is around 40 lakhs. We have two, three variants in 2 BHK, so it varies. And 3 BHK around 65 to 67 lakhs. This is about Bangalore costing. And coming back to monthly costing for people to live in both the communities. That is same for both the communities. See, monthly, if a couple is living in a 2 BHK, I'm just giving you an example. A couple living in a 2 BHK will be spending around 27,000 rupees a month, which includes 3 times full meals, including coffee, tea. And we have a very good design menu, which gets rotated which gets changed every week. We have a team who prepares on a food menu. So a lot of changes are there. It's not monotonous. Food is prepared according to the taste bud of our seniors. So 3 times food is given to the people, and everyday housekeeping is added in that, and garden maintenance is added. Our clubhouse charges are added. So even including GST, it's around 27.5 lakh for a couple. And all the packages can be tailor-made. It is not that a couple comes and stays in a 2 BHK has to pay 27.5 lakh, 1,000. It is not that. People can design according to them. Like some doesn't want everyday housekeeping, they can go for alternate day housekeeping. There are different types in this. So we design a package according to the need of a people. So we understand this is all about maintaining your retirement funds, about your rest of the life. So very, very well taken care. We have a team, operational team, we sit with them and we take their necessities. We make a different tailor-made packages. So that is available.
Thank you so much.
Anything I left in this, Hema? The question was
fully covered.
2-3 points.
fully covered. Thank you so much. The next question is there any facility of test happening to community people, random swab test to senior people? Danny sir, I think you should answer this question.
Yes, that can be organized basically. If anybody needs a swab test, it is the nearest facility, which is at Devdanapatti. They can do the swab test. But other tests, lab tests and all those things, we conduct like every once a month. We hold a camp. There will be around 5 to 10 seniors who want to just do some tests, like the sugars and the blood parameters or something like that. That can be done on a monthly basis. Or if some samples has to be sent immediately, some test in urgent basis, we have a tie-up with our lab partners. That can be done, or my paramedic will draw the blood and we immediately transfer it to the lab. So these are the ways that we are doing. Because we are working very closely with the government public health, center, PHCs here and the doctors here. And one of our doctors, who's already there on panel, he's a government doctor himself. So he comes once a week. So now because of the corona, now we have, he's more or less on a virtual consultations. So those are the things that we are doing right now. I think swab test and all can be done, but it is done in the government setup, because any such tests are there, no, we need to report it to the authorities. So that is a strict instruction from the authority that any person coming in, going for a longer stay, they are mandatory to get these swab tests, etc. done, and they do it, on our request also. Like all my staff has been covered with the other basic tests and other things before Corona. And during Corona, now all the people are more or less contained inside. So if we feel something is there, we can definitely refer them to the nearest hospital, government hospital, and the authorities are cooperating with us fully. They are very nice, and I'm really thankful for my authorities here, the village panchayat and other people. They are very, very cooperative, as a matter of fact, to our seniors and to us.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is, I think, Soumya, you can answer this question. What are the service charges for outdoor service, like getting groceries and to deliver food at the villa? Like outdoor services.
See,
Somebody
there
wants
are.
something.
Understood.
Yeah.
We right now, I mean, even from the beginning, we don't suggest our elders to go out for purchases. When we are there to serve them as a facilitator, why they should take a pain of it? One thing is, maximum people are utilizing our dining services. So there is no provision and other requirements. But some people may want to have some biscuits, or they want to have some fruits for their consumption, or some snacks, something like that. So whatever is their requirements, we have, our team is there, and we have 2 days in a week which we do it as a market days in both our communities, Kodaikanal and Bangalore. Where 2 days in a week which we call it as a marketing day. So in these market purchases will happen. So people will send their list much prior to that, and our team who goes out will also bring their packets, and it is separately packed and will be delivered at the doorstep. And for all this, see, per packet, we are charging around 30 rupees. Per service, I mean, we are charging around 30 rupees. It's a nominal this one, where, see, it is a simple thing. People want to live their life very dignified. So none of the service is free, but it's all charged at a very nominal rate, which can be offered. So 30 rupees is a service thing. And second thing, what we are asking is for the parcels. See, food, one thing, we prefer people to come to our central dining area, sit and have food together. See, it is not what you eat. It is where you eat, with whom you're eating also is a matter. When you're sitting there laughing, smiling and talking and eating, that thing is added to their health also. So we prefer, and we have a golf court inside both the communities, wherein they need not have to walk. We go, we bring them, so they don't need not to worry about afternoon sunlight or rainy season, nothing. So they can be brought to the centralized dining area. They can have their food and they'll be dropped back. But if at all, in some days they feel like, I want a home delivery, or someone is bedridden, they want a home delivery, that is possible. We have very nominal rates charged for that. And if they're giving their casseroles for packing, so that rates will come down. So some things are done without charges, some are charged. So it depends upon case to case.
But I think we have covered most of the questions, because repeatedly getting the same sort of questions. Like again, one of the guests have asked, apart from hand wash and sanitizers, what are other alternatives you are using in your community?
I should say, it is not a plain simple soap, 20 seconds of exposure, nice washing of your hands. That is more than sufficient that you need to have. Nothing else you need. That is what the simple is, the best sanitizer is the sun itself. Nothing beyond that. So it's all, any detergent or any soap. It is not like you need sanitizers for this particular thing. You can carry soaps. If you have you can carry soaps. You can just wash your hands. That's all that is required. And small sanitizers, like as I told, you can just create in a small a solution of Dettol as well as water. Say 500 ml of water, 2 caps of Dettol, shake it nicely. Maybe you can carry a small bottle with you. So you take up some, few mLs into it, just rub it nicely, and that will take care. Alcohol-based sanitizers, they actually take off all the moisture from the hand. Then the hand becomes very rough and this thing.
Right.
So seniors have dry skin already. So it is better that they can use something of this sort, or simply put, they can wash their hands frequently. That is all. That will all do. Nothing else more than that.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And another one, like I have received 1 or 2 questions through our website also. Important question actually. A homeo tablet called arsenic album is very familiar now. Shall anybody consume it, or we do have any restrictions in it? My dad is a diabetic. Is there any restriction from him for him to use? Danny sir, I think it's your question.
Thank you, Hema. See,
Yeah.
as far as arsenic album is concerned, a lot of other medicines are coming. Even in Ayurveda, a lot of other things are coming, like Kapasura, which has been mentioned. So those kind of decoctions can help. But at the moment, every condition, whatever is there, because the body has responds to various stimuli in a different manner. It is my frank suggestion and advice. Please seek a medical opinion. And being an Ayurveda doctor, and I have my limitations as far as commenting about arsenic album. Though I have heard, I have my friends who are homeopaths. They are doing it and they have found it to be effective. But still, on a personal note, I would say that it is better that you consult the doctor and then start taking the medications rather than doing these self-medications. All. Since the second aspect is you have already told that the person is diabetic. So of course, the parameters have to be checked, and the person needs a medical opinion before starting off anything. It is suggested. So on a precaution note, body doesn't need so many of things. Body is wise enough. You just take care of your nutrition, hydration, cleanliness, and hygiene. And also this mental hygiene, that means your stress level, bring it down and things will be just fine. You don't require a lot of other aspects, putting into it, nothing of that sort. And the rest you just wait and watch, and popping a pill for every reason, it is not the solution. Had that been the case, there would have been no diseases today. So it's basically you understand your body, take help, and before starting anything, you please seek the advice of the physician, and then you proceed. That's my advice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question is, what updates to the children of the community? To the children of the community, are you interacting with them on weekly basis or during this emergency situations? Soumi, I think you can answer this.
Yeah. Childrens are people who are mostly under attention today. I mean, they are worried about their parents. Though whatever we say that I'm doing this, we are doing that. Even parents says that I'm very happy, I'm healthy. They have their own concerns. Like our community is in Chikbalapura. 1 or 2 case comes there in Chikbalapura in the town or district. Then there's a call from children. Already in Chikbalapura, 1 or 2 cases there. What is that you are doing? Please be rest assured is what I say. We know what it is, and the people are not only resident for us, they are parents for us also. We serve people with that intention, like we are son and daughters to them, not only as service providers. Some people, I call them as dad and mom also. I mean, that love and affection we get them from them. So what happens here is we are restricted, we are preventing maximum things. We are not towards the cure. I know there's no cure for this disease, but a lot of prevention is happening at the gate, with the service team, with the visitors, everything. So we share our number with everyone. I mean, I think it's the same in Kodaikanal also. Our numbers are present with the children's, and every week we also send them a reports. I mean, whenever they want it, they ask us. I'll also send them the reports. And this lab testing and all done. Some kids have children have requested, please send us a copy. So that is taken care. When the lab testing is done, not only the elders, certain reports are sent to them. And a lot of online counseling is happening, online doctors consultation is happening. So everything is taken care. And today, the queries are coming now slowly from kids also. They started trusting a team. They know the parents are very happy, healthy over there, and more than healthy in this one. They're very normal to their life. So interaction is there with kids.
Sure. Thank you. And yet another question is, our facility or all facility or community is RERA approved? Soumya, this is for you.
Yes, it is. See, Kodaikanal, we have 2 projects I told you. One is Anandam Retirement Community and one more is Santosham. In Bangalore, we have one that is Anandam Retirement Community. See, first, let me tell you what is RERA. RERA is an act which is come to a market. A lot of regulation on the developers has been put. So, but both the communities, that is Anandam at Kodaikanal, Anandam at Bangalore, are RERA exempted projects. Why it is RERA exempted? RERA came into existence after 1st May 2017. 1st May 2017 is the RERA starting period. Any project which is launched before 1st May 2017 and they've done the relinquishment deed. What is relinquishment deed? Handing over of our roads, park, and other amenities to the local body. In our case, it is Panchayat. If we have done that, if the development is done, and we have given them a relinquishment deed by showing them everything is done, and if you have got any permanent power or water supply from the government, that means the project is completed towards the facility. So if this is done before 1st May 2017, then we are RERA exempted. Luckily, both the communities, Anandam at Kodaikanal, Anandam at Bangalore, are RERA exempted because we are done a relinquishment date much before 2017 May, and facilities like power and water was already there from that time. And coming to Santosham, Santosham is a project which is approved by RERA. We have a RERA approval for Santosham. And Hema, I think I forgot to mention about the offer running on Santosham in my question. I think that was a skip.
Yes,
yeah.
we will come
so, yeah. So we have an offer running on Santosham. Santosham is a project which I told you, cluster project. The prices are 19.5 lakh for a 1 BHK and 24.5 lakhs for a 2 BHK, basic price. So this is affordable housing, and we are having an offer of pay 5,50,000 rupees for 1 BHK and 6,50,000 rupees for a 2 BHK, and that will be your blocking amount, and rest of the amount you will be paying it only after the handover of the Santosham units. So that will happen. I mean, I think the time required is around 1 year. Now we require a time to hand over. So your payment, rest of the payment will happen after a year when you're taking a handover. And anyone who would like to come and stay in Anandam or in Santosham much before their construction. For example, today I have purchased a villa at Anandam. I made my booking, I purchased a villa at Anandam. I would like to come and stay much before that, because we are now worried about Corona and we want a place to live which is safe from everything. So you're most welcome. You can come and stay with us much before you're handing over. That means we'll give you a rental villas where you can stay. The rents are waived off. You're paying for your services. The rents are waived off. You can stay there, happily enjoy the amenities and services much before you take the handover. And you can see the villa construction in front of your eyes. That is a different happiness when you're seeing your villa coming up. It's like bringing up a child or a kid. So you can see that, and this is one facility what we are giving. And Santosham, that 5.5 lakhs and 6.5 lakhs is a very short-term offer with us. So people are interested, please log into our website, www.bahariestates.com. We have project details about all the project videos, all our contact numbers are there. Please feel free to contact us. And adding up to this, one more is Hema. I don't know whether any questions have come up, but 2-3 people, when I told about the sessions of our, asked one question with us, like, are you open with your business? Like, are you doing the trial villas, or are you still giving a site visit? Yes, we are open for our site visits. Yes, we are interstate, little restriction is there, but Bangalore people who would like to come and have a site visit with all precaution, we take people with us, and with the social distancing, the project can be shown to them. Showcasing of the project is available, and people want to buy a villa can do it at both the places. And we have one more thing, we have a virtual tour, what we call it. It's a new concept what we have come up. Like, anyone who's interested but cannot come, like our Kodaikanal from Bombay, people cannot go today. We don't allow people from Bombay and other things like. So in that case, what happens, they can talk to our experts, visit our website, and we have a video counseling or video marketing done for them, virtual tour. We take them from the gate, the complete video of the project will be shown to them. We can come on live like this, and we can have a mutual discussion on that. And after that, if they're interested, they can make a booking amount. In case of Santosham, it is 50,000 rupees the booking amount. And within a month, once they're done, once they can come for it and they can pay this amount. So like even for Anandam, we have a booking amount of 1 lakh, which they can pay it online. And the further things can be taken as the situation goes. And we are open for trial villas also. People would like to come and stay with us and enjoy our trial stay for a rentals can come. But only thing is, if the quarantine is there, then you have to undergo quarantine. All services provided at your villa doorstep. And here you can be rest assured that we have a paramedical staff. So we are open with our business. Please visit us.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you for your very good explanation. Actually, now I think we have come to the end of the session. Like most of the questions we have covered. A few repeated questions only have come. So thank you so much, viewers, for all your questions. We spoke about do's and don'ts of COVID, but what happens after the COVID positive person gets discharged from the hospital? I was expecting some question on this, but couldn't
good
get
question.
any question on this. They're advised to be on home quarantine for another week.
Yeah.
We hear many stories about this situation, like seniors getting frustrated since neighbors see them little different. Actually, no, like this happens actually, like practically it happens. Here, we all should understand one thing, that we should maintain social distancing and should not ignore or avoid them. Avoid them. Whatever help we can do. No, we should do them. That I think that's our social responsibility actually. Just to share a small experience, no, we had a very old couple actually. They both were infected, like positive COVID patients actually. They came from the hospital. Actually, wife came from the hospital a week before itself. Like no, their husband was in a critical stage in the hospital. This woman, she was not able to go out of the house, but she was in a very panic situation. Whatever help from our side we can do, we did for her. Like I cook food for her and daily I'll serve food for her. Only thing is, like, what measures I took is like I bought all disposable items. So, like,
Very
pack
good.
food in the disposable items and keep in the door, in their, before their door. I'll call them and I'll request them to take the food. I'll wear mask, gloves, everything while going and meeting them. So such a small help. This all like a humanitarian based help. What we can do to the people. Our entire street actually appreciated us for taking care of that elderly couple. I proudly said, I just reciprocated to them. I too have elderly parents and I work for a senior living community where services are provided from heart. So
Correct.
I do request you all to help such people. Danny sir, hope you will agree with me in this thing.
I have all my thumbs up for you, Hemant. You did a wonderful thing.
Good, Hema. It's a
Yeah.
very
I'm
good
proud of
standing
you.
example.
Yes,
I'm
but
proud of
no,
you. We are
I
all proud of
always feel this. I always feel this. No, like people who gets discharged from the hospital, they are running after seeing the
Correct.
COVID tested patients.
Hmm.
No, that itself they are giving a huge frustration and depression for them. That's the reason now people are not disclosing that they are infected also.
you.
That's the reason for no, like might be because they are hesitating to disclose that they have the symptoms of COVID positive. Because if they disclose, nobody will go near them. Everything happens. What is your advice, Danny sir, on this?
No, it's basically, in the caller tune it says, no, don't be aware, be afraid of this, or you take care of corona, but be very considerate to
Don't
the
avoid the.
Correct.
Yeah, don't avoid these people, because it's not their fault that they contracted this, and they are caught unaware. So it is better there, you refute sin, not sinners. So that is very, very
Yes.
important. So in that way, please don't abhor or don't neglect people who are COVID positive. Just see that this could be your situation, it could be your parent's situation. Tomorrow you can be in that particular side. So
Right.
better is that everybody lives in cooperation, and it's basically that is what a community is all about. We have to all stand together in this testing times, and if we are standing together, definitely we can contain the situation and deal with situation with much of a confidence without giving a lot of stress to others. And this is a small example that you have. It's an exemplary thing that you have done, Hema. I must congratulate you on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I have, you have gone up a few notches in my thing.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to know that you have gone a few notches up now on my list. Hats off.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Like I think we have come to an end of this session. Hope everybody would have had a valuable time spent now. I should definitely thank you, Danny sir and Soumya, for making this session interesting and very interactive. First, thank the viewers for posting us the questions.
And
And Danny sir and Soumya, you made it a great session actually.
thank you, Hema.
Thank
Without
you
you,
so
it
much.
wouldn't have been possible. And please remember our website, www.bahariestates.com. You get all information, videos, and our contact number. Please feel free, not only our business, any advice. Danisa, me, Hema, our complete team is at the service of all our viewers. Please do visit our website and feel free to contact us.
Sure. On behalf of all the team, we invite you to have a trial facility. Also, we have trial stay facilities in our site. Please to come have a trial stay. Feel the experience of the services and ambience of our of our both the communities. Definitely, you all will love to stay with us. Definitely. Thank you all once again. Have a nice day. Thank you all.
Hema. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.